Hello and welcome to this first preview video on this channel. The idea behind these videos is to just give a first impression, a quick look into upcoming titles. And with quick I mean about maybe an hour of gameplay. And yeah, these titles can be close to release or far away from release. And I think this one is the latter, because this is still an early version, early developer build. Even though it's released to public, everyone can download it for free basically. You can donate some money to the developer if you like to. You find a link to this build in the description of the video. And yeah, everyone can just download and look into it. So feel free to do that. And we are having a quick look into it, and I will say something about the character system and yeah, kind of the state of the game. So because the game is still very rough, and yeah, I will show you around a bit. And the first thing we will do, yeah, as I mentioned, the developer is from worked on Might and Magic, on some Might and Magic titles, so I think the game is supposed to capture that vibe a bit. The combat looks a little bit like that, but it's still too rough to really make any judgment from there. I mean, it's pretty bad at the moment, but I hope it will get better till the release version. So, but there's also other stuff which isn't really working well at the moment, and you hear the chirping in the background. That's, for example, one thing, because you cannot control much on the sound side. You have sound volume and music volume, but the chirping and some other sound effects, they cannot be adjusted, and you see that these ones are already at like 10% or so. It starts out at 100%, which I think is always a bad idea. Games should always start at like 50 or 70% so that you can also increase the volume if the developer like misjudged the volume a user has. So the developer should think, okay, this is what I think everyone has this setting at, and then you should be able to increase that if it's too silent without dealing with some Windows knobs. But this one, yeah, has the issue that some sounds cannot even be regulated here. And yeah, before we start with the game itself, I will first go through the options and talk a bit about the interface here. So I already showed you the music options. There isn't much. The graphics, you have seen that now, so there's also not a lot. And then we have got the gameplay. And as I mentioned, the combat is in a still very early stage, or I hope so. It's still, there's not much feedback, and you basically just click on enemies until they are dead. So I really recommend to set it on easy, because there is not really much to it. I tried it one time, I think it was on hard, and it was still in the previous version, and I just got my characters killed extremely quickly, and I didn't know really what was happening, because yeah, the game doesn't provide much feedback, and the combat is really not feeling great at the moment. Then we've got the keyboard and mouse. There you can adjust the mouse sensitivity, and you can switch the control style between modern and classic. Modern means that you basically run around like in a shooter. So you have WASD for movement, but you with A and D you slide left, right, and you basically have mouse look active all the time. You can press Alt or the right mouse button to move your cursor, and this is still a bit odd. I mean, Alt is kind of okay, and you can click on these things, but there, for example, you don't have an X to close it again, so you have to press Escape, and sometimes that's also not really working. The alternative is to switch to the classic mode, where you have mouse all the time, but you would need to set other controls then, because then you cannot turn left, right with the standard controls. So I keep it at modern for now, but yeah, there are a couple of issues there. And we've got Miscellaneous, where there's not really anything either. So we go back to the game and take a look at the interface. So we have on the bottom left we can see, well, our money, food which we need to rest, and water, and I have no idea what water is for, probably also for resting, but not sure. And on the bottom right we've got our character screen. We have 4 characters, and this one is showing all the character stats, the classes, and the current damage and so on. I think that could have been handled a bit better, because at the moment these windows are like completely separated, and you don't see, like, if these are the skills, for example, if you increase the sword skill, you don't see what impact that has immediately. So I would rather have one screen with all the details for one character being shown, rather than multiple screens with all the character information at the same time, because that's not really helpful. And as I mentioned, here's nothing to close it, so here you have to click escape. And then we've got our inventory, and yeah, it's also still very rough, so you can see like these green background. I guess that's going to change. You cannot double click it. You can use stuff by clicking on it once, which I think is also a bad idea. You should need to double click, because otherwise you might accidentally use it. And you should be able to double click on items to equip them, for example, but this is also not possible at the moment. So yeah, this is our inventory. Every character has his or her own inventory, and I am also not a fan of that. I prefer to have a shared inventory. I remember like Eye of the Beholder, playing Eye of the Beholder and Realms of Arcania and so on, and this was always very tedious for splitting up the stuff, and it was such a relief when Lands of Lore had just a shared inventory at the bottom of the screen. So yeah, but here you have to split up stuff on the different characters, and usually I do it like one character is gathering all the stuff which needs to be sold, one character is gathering new stuff, one character is gathering all the stuff which like is used, like potions and so on. So to have some kind of order in there. And here you can also see this one is a mage, for example, but you cannot learn this spell even though it's a mage. So these characters were completely useless from the start because you cannot learn spells. Sometimes. I think if you start the game, create characters, go into the game, and then learn them right away, they will work. But as soon as you reload once, I think these items are kind of broken. So yeah, that's not working. Yeah, then we've got the skills. And this is also an interesting system, and also close to what you have in Might and Magic. So for example, we have 3 skill points here. And these skills, like Novice Leather Armor, they can be increased. And depending on how high these skills are, it costs more or less to increase them. So if you want to increase something from 1 to 2, you have to spend 1 point. If you have to increase something from 2 to 3, you have to spend 2 points, and so on. The skills you have, you can select at the start of the game. That's the skills you start out with, like I think 5 skills. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. And you can still learn additional skills by going to trainers. This one, for example, this one teaches the sword skill. So now I can select this character, for example. I want to learn the sword skill. Happy to teach for 50 gold. I'm ready to learn. And yeah, these symbols for the characters, they don't match at all in dialogues. That's also an issue, but yeah, I guess they will fix that. So he's got the sword skill now. But of course, not everyone can learn all skills, and that's depending on the class, but I will go into that later. But the interesting thing about skills is also that you, at least that's written into the like kind of manual thing, is that you can find additional skills out in the wilds. So maybe what you have in the beginning is just like a primary set, and maybe you can learn some additional stuff like wild magic or something similar, or some exotic weapon, like, I don't know, laser weapons, for example. Because this game seems to also have this science fiction part in it. Because there's one race which is called, I think, Automaton. Let me see, Automata, yeah. So it might be that there's some like science fiction elements which come later on, where you can learn additional skills. But like Might and Magic, you also have these different tiers. So you start out as novice, but then you can, at a certain skill level, I guess, you can increase the skill to different, I don't know, apprentice, master, or something like that. And then, for example, the swords is going to do more damage and so on. And you've got a lexicon here, and where you can check all these skills, or not all of these, but most skills are here. The interface here is also kind of broken, but at least you can have get a general impression of what you can get. So, for example, the sword skill is a novice effect. You can normally use it. Apprentice, then you have additional damage, and master effect, you have 2 times previous bonuses, which is not really that special. But for example, blunt has a chance to paralyze, and bow fires 2 attacks, and so on. So there's a different effect when you increase them. The lexicon there, which I showed, is also pretty useful for having a look at the different stats, because there is no tooltip for any of these, so you have no idea what these stats are for, unless you look into the lexicon. But even there is not a detailed description. For example, I created a character with, I think, Constitution 7 and one with 8, and they had the same hit points, so I'm not sure what that is doing. Then there, for example, is the perception skill, which allows you to find additional stuff in the world. But you also have a skill called Eagle Eyes, which does the same. So I don't know what's better, what's the difference, and there are a couple of things like that. Yeah, that's the attributes and stats. Then we've got the spells. Now, right now, these spells are not working because I cannot learn them. But if it works, you have the spells here. Then you can click on the middle mouse button to select it as quick spell, and then each time when you click on an enemy, for example, it will automatically cast a fireball or something. And then we've got our quest log. And now here you can track the quests, clean out barracks, and then it will usually show on the map, unless it doesn't. So right now it doesn't, but for the first quest, for example, it shows, which you can get here in the hut, it will show in the city. You have to go to the city and to give it to guards. It's not very accurate, but yeah, at least it shows the general direction. You can zoom out and in, and you also see some other locations here, like a little bit like in Skyrim, for example. And to close the map, you have to click this icon, which is also a bit irritating, but this is probably just meaning bigger or smaller, but I don't think it's very intuitive. The locations on the map you can also see. Now, for example, I closed the map. My cursor is disabled, but I can also not look around with the mouse. So now I have to click escape again, and now my mouse is free again. So that the interface is not working really great at the moment. Yeah, so these are the quests, and then the last icon is for resting. And now I will go to the main menu and show you how the game starts and how the character creation is set up. But I think that's also very, very early stages, and I hope they will still do a lot about that. So, And here we are in the main menu, and from here we can start a new game, and then the music stops. We've got an overview of our whole party. We can select the gender, the race, 4 races, and there we can see the automata. The class, I think we have got 8 classes, yeah, and our stats, and we can choose 5 skills. Each combination of race and gender has 2 pictures. So for example, we have 2 pictures here, but what I already realized is that these kind of have different, I don't know if it's just different artists, but this picture, for example, is also animated in game. He's changing, or at least looking into different directions, and other pictures are completely static. So I don't know if they will go like with in Might and Magic. You had this when the character was poisoned, it was looking like ill or something like that. Well, there was also illness, but you get what I mean. And yeah, I don't know if they're going for that, but right now you only have most of the time you only have these static pictures. You have the races, and the human doesn't have any bonuses and maluses, but for example, the elf has smarts and spirit, which is good for any casters, but they have a constitution malus, and the dwarf has a bonus in strength and perception. And the automata, smarts and dexterity. But I already see a couple of issues in that, because if you want to do want to create any character which is doing like physical damage, you would always want to take a dwarf, because it's so much easier to increase strength and make more damage, and you don't need these 2 anyways, I guess. And you can even go further here. You can increase, you have 20 points here to distribute, so you can set this to 30, and then you just decrease what you don't want. And then, of course, you want to have some hit points. You max out that one that is not enhanced. And with perception, for example, I don't see the reason why you would increase perception on multiple characters. Perception, as you can see in the stats here, is for is how well you notice things. With higher perception, you will be better to notice traps and find secrets. But why should you want to increase perception on multiple characters, right? Especially because there's also one skill called Eagle Eye, which is also helping detecting things. So I guess if that was the release version, I would just take one character with maxed out perception and the Eagle Eyes skill, and have everyone else at minimum perception. So I think yeah, there's an issue with with some of these stats. Like if it's only useful for one character, I don't see the big use of splitting it up that much. And I also see the issue that all physical damage characters should be dwarves at the moment, because it's just the most useful one. And all magic users should be elves, because they got smarts and spirit, and constitution while constitution is negative, they have 2 positive ones. So it's still still better than human, because they are neutral, they don't profit from it. And these automata, they have negative spirit, so it's an additional malus, so you don't profit from that either. So for now, all casters should be elves, and everyone else should be dwarves, which I think isn't a great design. But yeah, hopefully that will still be changed. And from the skills, yeah, we each depending on the class, you can choose a limited amount of skills. So for example, the soldier is the only one which can use who can use plate armor. And there are other examples like that. Let me switch. I noted down all the different options there, but in this demo, because it's so basic at the moment, it's not really necessary to make like the optimal party for anything. To just have a short look, you can just go with the starting party, and that's what we will do in a second. But I just want to show like how it's designed at the moment, and so I noted down every class and what skills this class can have, and here you can see the soldier is the only one who can wear plate armor. The mage is the only one who can learn Agyssa, which is like combat spells. These are all kind of mixed, so some combat spells are in most mage schools of these four. But for example, Utashu, that basically includes all the purge, the healing stuff, and not just like hit point healing. That's also, I think, in this one. But Utashu has all the purge poison, purge, I don't know, paralysis or something like that. That's all within here. So, and the cleric is the only class at the moment which can learn it. So you definitely need to have one cleric in your group, and I don't think that's really great. So basically, if you find plate armor and want to use that, you need to have a soldier in your party. And if you want to be able to clear like poison, you need to have a cleric in your party. And basically with that, you already have 2 slots set. Another issue I see with the seer at the moment, they have these 2 magic schools, but I mean, if you compare the seer with the mage, the seer doesn't really have anything at all, which the mage can't do. And the same for the cleric. The seer doesn't have anything which the cleric can't do, except a repair item, which you can cover with a warrior or thief. So yeah, right now I hope that that's still changed a lot, because right now it doesn't make a whole lot of sense on how these the class skill distribution is set up. So let's switch back to the game. So I will not bother with like setting up a party here. I will just take the quick start, and we will just run around in the world a bit and do the first like 2 quests or so. But I don't think that this is supposed to happen. I first thought like, is this like some Christmas thing, that there some deer with Santa Claus riding in the sky? But no, it seems like this was an accident, that they all spawned on the roof. Okay. And now the chirping sets in, and that's another, yeah, the sound is not really working well. So what I will do now is I will just wait until the morning. Now the chirping is gone, and yeah. Let's jump. Jump. And here's the first quest giver. Greetings, adventurers. You couldn't have come at a better time. Why is that? We have been under attack by bandits for the last few weeks. Our scouts report that they are on the way to another raid. We need to prepare. And now you maybe saw that the picture swapped, and now all our party members have different pictures. Kind of weird, but yeah, probably a bug. And as I mentioned, this one blinks with his eyes, and the other ones are static. Who would like to help? Great. First I need to deliver these weapons to the 6 guards stationed around Aeolwyn. We will do this. Thank you. And maybe you heard it, but these are... it sounds like some Nintendo sound effects. When you're doing some stuff, I guess that's pretty much placeholders. So now you will need to go to different guards here in the city. Stay out of trouble, kid. This was the guy where we can also learn the sword skill. We have a weapon for you. Thank you. I can't wait to try it out. Now you can also see that he has got a sword in his hand. Can also talk to this monk here. What can I do for you, my child? I would like healing. I would like to learn about Shakti mysteries. Goodbye. We've also got a tavern here. Let's just quickly visit that. But warning, it will get loud. So we can also talk to people here. How can I help? Need to stream now. You can order a drink. And a drink. Here you go. Anything else? No. Yeah, as I mentioned, the sound controls are not really working well. So here we've got a shop. How can I help you? I'd like to shop. Yeah. I think in the earlier builds, it might be just the earlier build, or maybe it was just something which can happen, that this menu also didn't open. And because we just started, we also need to equip our characters first. So let's take bows and stuff. Zup, zup. Ah, okay, we can learn them now. I think as soon as we load the game, once these items break. But, well, now we can use them. We set this to the quick spell here, and Soul Ripper here, just that can do some damage. You want a weapon, right? Yeah, here. We have a weapon for you. Thank you, this will come in handy. Goodbye. Seal of Trouble Kit. We have a weapon for you. Goodbye. Here we can buy some new armor. Looking for some stuff. We like to shop. Now, new armor. And right now we've got... Yeah, I have no idea why there was a cast of this spell now. But I wanted to open this one, but I don't know. So, yeah, this one is a soldier. He's fighting with a sword at the moment. And this one is a brawler. Brawler is not the one which is supposed to fight with a fist, but who can. The pugilist is the one fighting with fists. But this one is set up to have no weapon at the beginning and starts out with a fists skill. It's also weird that if you take the pre-made group as we did now, you do not have any skill points. But if you create your own party, you have 5 skill points to distribute. So I don't know what is the right way, but there's definitely one of these two things has to be wrong. Here we can buy spells. Stay out of trouble, kids. That one also looks a bit weird. Thank you. And the pictures of the NPCs also don't fit great. Like this one looks like a nobleman. And I've also seen some, I don't know, a baker or so in plate armor. This is a guy who can, if we increase in level, we need to visit this guy and he will, well, actually do the level up for us, like in, I think in Might and Magic it's working the same way. But he will also give us a quest. We want to join the Adventurers Guild. Do you know, and what do you think the guild will accept you? We are all adventurers. I will be able to, will be the one to judge who can call themselves adventurers. Yeah, we need to kill 10 monsters of any time. Once you have slain 10 monsters, come back. We will. Good. Goodbye. He needs a weapon as well. Stay off trouble, kid. We have a weapon for you. Thank you. Goodbye. In some houses you can enter, some you can't. There's no real indication on what's working and what's not. But I think we've got, except of this one, all guards covered. Ah, Fists. You already know this. Was? Ich habe auch nach Fists gefragt. You already know the sword skill. Das ist ja schön. Aber ich wollte den Fist Skill lernen. Can we ask you something else? Anscheinend nicht. And the, like, it went stuck. Oh. Okay. Didn't crash. Stay out of trouble. We have a weapon for you. Thank you. Goodbye. Something else I wanted to show is there are some like landmarks in the landscape. So with this statue, for example, you can visit that one. And then boop, that also sounded pretty much like Game Boy, but everyone got 3 skill points. So you can distribute these skill points now. This one is going into the sword skill. I just increase damage on all characters. And here I've got no idea. What was the... So you also just cast a spell, but yeah, this is really not working well. And I'm at the wrong character again. So this is Agrussa. And this one is Utashu. And another cast. Agrussa and Utashu. Yeah, I mean, they won't be able to cast anything at combat because I don't have any points left. There's another like dungeon thing here. The sound was indicating that we just discovered it on the map. We can go in here and there are some like goblins or so. This is not our quest though. I will just quickly show it. Very dark here. And we killed him. Yeah, so the combat is really... That was an arrow and we shot him. Treasure! And you can click on that one. It's money. You will get it automatically added then. I guess it makes sense to actually equip your weakest characters first. But not too sure about that. Can't save in combat. Yeah, you just click on them until they're dead, basically. You can see on the bottom that it's rotating through the characters. You can also press enter, and now we are in turn-based mode. But he still managed to attack in turn-based mode, even though it was not his turn, I guess. But we definitely have more time then. But yeah, I'm not sure how the combat system is supposed to work there. At the moment it doesn't really work that well. I mean, besides of the fact that there's no tactics involved or anything like that, it's just clicking until enemies die, which isn't the greatest. So let's go out here again. There was still more in this dungeon thing to do, but Just wanted to quickly show you. There's also another farm, like on the other side of the river there. And we also got some ruins and another statue where you can increase you get free skill points over here. There's also another dungeon with some skeletons if you want to visit it. And then we also got a Bandit Camp, which is over here. But we will not visit it during this preview. All I will do now, you can also go into the water here. Doesn't really make a difference. Swimming or so is not implemented yet, as it seems. And looks like you delivered the weapons. Yes. Thank you. Here's your reward. Thank you. Are you ready for the next task? Yes. Well, and good, my friends. Here's the rub. There's some old barracks in town we have neglected for so long. It has become the home to some rather nasty beasties. That sounds dreadful. It is. I would like you to make entry to the barracks, find the nest somewhere in the basement and destroy it. Of course, you will do it immediately. Goodbye. So now we go to the barracks, which are also on the other side. You can also see on the map there that there's a different city there, about a kilometer away. And for this quest, we have to go into this building here, a bit southeast of the village. Apparently this is also randomly generated, the chests, because I found different stuff in these chests so far. What's that? Medium healing. Okay. There should be like an option to double click or just press space to take all or something like that right now. There really isn't. They have bows. And now I need to transfer like items over to characters and so on. So that with a shared inventory that would all be more convenient. And I'm not sure how well the fists work, but you can see in here that right now he's doing 1 to 3 damage with his fists. He has fist skill trained and he doesn't have the sword skill. But still, if I equip him with the sword, he's doing more damage. He has less chance to hit, I guess, but he's still doing better. Let's go into the building and do this quest real quick. There's a note. I have caught one or another of you sneaking into the basement for the last time. I have locked the cave door permanently. If you have any legitimate need for access, see me for the key. Card Sergeant Emil. Sergeant. Okay. And here's the key. And this one is not going into the inventory as item. This is just added somewhere where you can't see it. Then we've got some gold and some more lockpicks. I'm not sure how lockpicking works because it doesn't seem like I had to ever use it. Okay, quick saved here. And combat! Yeah, I'm clicking on the enemy until it's dead. Dead. You can also see on the little lamps over the portraits which character is ready and which isn't. But I don't quite get... like, it's taking super long from one character action to the next one. And most of the time these are blinking. So, yeah, it doesn't make too much sense to me. And there's a lot of enemies here. And it seems like ranged weapons are doing much better than melee weapons. At least at the start. And the enemy is attacked through walls at the moment, so apparently it's just checking the distance. And if the distance is close enough, they will attack you no matter what's in between. I've also seen enemies clipping through closed doors. So yeah, all very early and very basic, I hope. I mean, I hope that it's changed quite a lot. And there's another one. So yeah, I would like to have a real tactical turn-based combat, pretty much like in Might and Magic, where you encounter the enemy, then you go into turn-based mode, and then you have to think about what you want to do. Like, okay, with this character I make an AoE attack. With this character I stun the enemy. With this one I cast a heal, and with that one a fireball or something like that, so that it's more tactical and you have to think about what you're doing and not just click, 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 click until the enemy is dead. Even though with this click, 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 I think in the early Might and Magics it worked like that, but that was, yeah, really the earlier ones. I'm not sure how exactly it worked in Might and Magic 6, 7, and yeah, 8 and 9, but yeah. So let's rest until healed. Yeah, there we still had mana left. And there's an enemy coming through a closed door. There's another one. There's another chest with some money, some lockpicks. And also, because it opens a different character every time you pick a lock, it's also... And I think you can't change the character, right? So I couldn't switch over to a different character to loot it into a different inventory. With a shared inventory it wouldn't be an issue, but that's... that way it is. And the music is louder than it was initially, so I would need... because the music is regulated here, but sometimes if it reloads the music, or maybe this track is just louder than other ones. Anyways. So yeah, you can now see that... Okay, this was a cast. So there's basically arrows coming from the bottom of the screen. And they are quite strong compared to melee hits. And of course, if you're staying in real time, we can also move. So there's not really any reason, I think, to go to turn-based. Here it doesn't make any difference. Miss, miss, miss. And sometimes they drop something, but so far it has always been empty. Yeah, the arrows are super strong. And there's the target for our quest, and we'll just do the quest and then we will leave the cave again. Okay, and the last one. He doesn't want to die. Sometimes, because the arrows are coming from the bottom of the screen, sometimes you can jump and then click on them, then the arrow is still able to hit the enemy. Okay. Quest done. We've got another chest, some money, ocean meat. And now we can leave the thing again. If we find the way back. Of course, there's still more in this cave, but yeah, I think the combat you have seen is pretty representative on how all the other fights in this cave will look like. I like the sound of the door, even though it's too loud. Yes. So now we get back to the quest giver. Bams! Oh, the sound was also too loud and the chirping is too loud. So what we'll do now is just wait until morning so that the chirping is gone. Signal tower. Yeah. Okay. How are the barracks? We destroyed the nest. Wonderful. I will send a soldier over there immediately. Here's the reward. Thank you. Are you ready for the next task? Yes. I've learned about the bandits. The bandits have set up camp a walk east of here. I'm sure there are scouts sent to spy on us to find out when is the best time to attack. What should we do about it? I want you to go there and kill them all. But of course, that may not be possible. No, I need you to investigate their camp and gather some intel on when they're going to attack and how. Consider it done. Yeah. We are not going to do that in this video. I will now just show like a level up. Which is, yeah, as I mentioned, like pretty much like in the Might and Magic titles, I think. Looking for training? You want to train. Train, 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 train. And here we can also see they all have different pictures which just have nothing to do with the ones we selected. We killed 10 monsters. Is that so? Hopefully none of my friends. We hope not. That was a joke. Some people have no sense of humor. Congratulations and welcome to the guild. Here's your reward. Goodbye. And now I think we can go into these guild offices or something, but I've not done that yet, so I've no idea. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Let's see that we can, yeah, we have new skill points. Put them into sword, fists. Just for fun, we can... Ah, by the way, there's also some skill I think you can... I'm not sure where... Something was adding double jump. I'm not sure when that was... how that was added to the team. Maybe it was a skill, but why should a one character add double jump to everyone? There's also, like as I mentioned, these 4 magic schools, and there are some pretty powerful sounding sounds in some spells in some of them. Like, as I mentioned, the Utashu, they have like all the perch stuff in that, but that's just something you need for combat. But for example, in Yaki Tradus, you also have Town Portal, flying. Ah, okay, there was the double jump, and you can enchant items there. Sounds also interesting. In Samartin, you have also enchantments. You can have points of interests shown on the map. Might also be good. I mean, these are all things I would like to have then. Oh, there's the castle. Maybe that's the capital. I never went further south. So I think the world itself can be quite interesting to explore and just see what's there. Ah, okay. So this was also mentioned in the lexicon. So there are these like barriers, and you need to get passage in order to get through these barriers. I don't think we can get through. Yes? What is this place? We'd like to pass through. Let's see your papers. Papers? Everyone needs the proper pass to travel through the gate. You don't have papers, you can't cross. You don't have any papers. Then you're stuck on this side of the gate, aren't you? Goodbye. Yeah, so we can't go to this other city then, apparently. Unless it's... it might be right on this line. Ah, yeah, okay. And it seems like this is yeah, it's making a corner here, so maybe we can still go to the city. Have a quick look into maybe a bigger city. The world also seems to be pretty empty at the moment, so there isn't much roaming monsters or anything. But I mean, that should be something. I mean, obviously it also takes time to edit that stuff, but I think that should be something which is rather easy to do. It's just taking effort. Yeah, it seems like the wall is ending there, or taking a... Yeah, there's a corner. Let's go to the city! $390. Maybe we should... $300 meters. Doesn't look like there's a city right in front of us. Uh-huh. That looks like a boat. Yeah, and something which is a bit annoying, this is when you're just going, and you have to basically press space all the time, not space, shift, to run, and I don't see any point in that. If there's no endurance or anything, why should you need to press space the whole time? Shift. It should be there should be an auto run option. Uh-huh. Hello there. Dockmaster Ludwig, what can I do for you? Just had some questions for you. We are looking for work. Are you now? Are you scared of monsters? There's a bunch in my warehouse. Not afraid of monsters. Stand back. Great, you cleared out and there's some money in for you. We'll do it. Come back when you're done. Goodbye. Yeah, doesn't look like this city has been completely designed yet. It's pretty empty. And I guess that castle is behind the barrier as well. Or that is just another gate. Yeah. Okay, well, that's the end of our journey then. I hope I've been able to give you some a good impression about, well, not the final product, of course, but of what's in here and what might be there to come. And yeah, if you like this kind of content, then please subscribe to this channel. There will be more previews on this channel and also more reviews and maybe also some longer let's plays. I will see what's really fitting in this channel and what's, because I'm usually doing German let's plays and so on different channels, and if I've got some stuff where I want to do English content, I will put it on this channel. So this channel will be a bit mixed. So if you're into that, please subscribe, like this video, and yeah, thanks for watching, and until next time.